Hi, everybody. It's Angie Nuttall, and we are on for our second video to help us prepare for our Miami Leadership Retreat. Now, today I'm going to talk to you about the process of influencing and persuading. And what I want to do is I want to share with you three important tools and steps that we're going to do a little pre-work and a little thinking on before we get to our session. So I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can follow along with me here. One moment, please. Let's see here. I want to share this. All right, here we go. Okay, here we are. The process of influencing and persuading. So during our session, we're going to learn three things. And the first thing is we're going to think ahead in terms of when we want to influence or persuade someone. So this means that we need to create key questions for curiosity. Second thing that we're going to do is we're going to think about planning ahead. So thinking and planning are two very different activities. Well, planning ahead means designing the business case for whatever it is that we're trying to influence someone on. And thirdly, we're going to do some significant work around reframing a talk. So some of you were with me in Facilitator 101, and you are very familiar with Listening Coach. Well, we are going to go to Advanced Listening Coach, put all three of these things together so that we can walk through an influencing and persuading conversation. Okay? Now, first of all, I want to get your head wrapped around curious questions. Those of you who were in Facilitator 101, this is going to be a welcome surprise. All right, so let me come off of there. Hold on just a moment and let me find my page. All right, let's see here. Awesome thing is that when you come into the session, you're going to have a workbook, and much of this is already going to look familiar to you. So on this first tool, I want to get your brains warmed up for what we call hypothetical questions and other powerful and curious questions. So hypothetical questions, they are great reframing tools. And reframing is designed to take a negative and turn it into a positive, or at least just neutralize a negative connotation. So it's like saying, hey, look at the bright side, or look at a different side. So a lot of times when you're trying to influence somebody, they tend to be stuck in a certain perspective. And a hypothetical question asks, what if? What if? Well, what if you chose to change the perspective? What if you chose to change the process? What would happen then? Well, what if we stopped working right at 5 o'clock? Or how about, what would it be like if we didn't have a person in that position at all? And one of my favorites is, but what if we could? What would the difference be? So you see, introducing those two powerful little words, what if, you can begin to open up different perspectives about a problem or a challenge that seems like it can't be solved. So when we come together, we want to be able to brainstorm some what if questions that would apply to your direct challenges with influencing up and also across and down. So we can also introduce the concept of asking powerful and curious questions. And this is very much like being a coach. I do this every day in my coaching practice, but we can ask questions that really bring thought-provoking thoughts to our mind. So for example, hey, what's the consequence of not allowing enough time to train? See, you're making someone really think about something that they say that can't be done. Or how about, well, what risk do we face if we go too fast? Or how about this one? What do we think is most important to the client? Or what would the payoff be if we took the risk? So you see, you're introducing this curiosity to influence and persuade the other person to look at the situation from a completely different angle. So that's the first tool that we're going to work on when we come together in Miami. All right, the second one, I'm going to share my screen with you here because this is a process that I want you to get really familiar with when we come together, because we are going to be practicing this. All right, one moment, please. Let me get it here. All right, I'm sharing my screen. So, stating your business case. Those of you who were in Facilitator 101, you may remember the qualifiers tool or the state your position tool. Well, the state your business case is very, very similar to that tool. So this should be easy for you to jump right on and grab a hold of it. So there are 4 steps in this tool. And the step is to, first of all, identify what your proposal or what your advice is. The second step is to share your reason. The third step is to provide the supporting facts or further elaborating on why your reason is the way it is. And then the fourth is just confirming and reaffirming that, and this is why we should do this. So stating your business case can easily be stated in these 4 steps. So for example, we can say that, I'll go back to my favorite one about why we should take naps. So I propose that we take naps at 12 o'clock until 1 o'clock. My reason for this is that everyone is getting very tired at that time, and we're making lots of mistakes in the afternoon because we're not allowing ourselves time to rest. And also, supporting facts say that research says that when you do take naps, that your productiveness goes up 33%. And a research study was done in France where people were allowed to take naps in the middle of their workday, and their productivity just went through the roof. And so that's why we should take naps at lunch. Okay, I know that was a little flaky, but you get the point. Our goal is we want to be able to walk through all 4 of these steps so that we can state our business case. So I encourage you to practice this now before we get into the session. Even try it on at work. Try it today. Try it this week. Okay, our next tool is really where we start to put everything together. Now, this is going to be a little bit challenging, okay, because we are going to take Advanced Listening Coach, and we're then going to introduce our hypothetical questions, and we're going to state our business case. Now, we won't practice that today. What I want you to just get acclimated to is being able to practice Advanced Listening Coach and listening for values, all right? So there are 4 steps to the influencing reframe. Listen for values, reframe and summarize, validating and getting psychological agreement by saying, is that what I'm hearing? And then you introduce your influence strategy. So for example, I have an example here. Someone says, I hate cleaning up after everyone. The clutter drives me crazy and I never get to rest. Well, we want to pause here and identify, well, what does that person value? What does it sound like they're valuing? Mind you, you don't have to have this absolutely perfect because they're going to validate. They will let you know, but you have to think about that and ask. So when we listen to someone who says, hey, I hate cleaning up after everyone, the clutter drives me crazy and I never get to rest, possible values might be they value organization. They might value structure and order, rest, space. So we can start to put these values to what this person is doing, because everybody values something and they honor those values. But what we want to do is we want to reframe what they've said and summarize it back. So we might respond back with, so it sounds like you value organization. You want an organized space and you also appreciate your downtime. Is that what I'm hearing? So you see, We validate that. We get that psychological agreement. Yes, that's exactly how I'm feeling. Great. Well, so here's where we introduce our hypothetical questions, and we start going down the path of influencing. And so, well, what if my solution could lead you to more rest, space, and organization? Would that make you happy? So you see, you have just used their own values to begin influencing them. So, what I want you to do this week is I want you to start thinking about listening for people's values when they're talking, reframing and summarizing those for them, getting that psychological agreement. Is that what I'm hearing? So I know that the fourth step is a lot more challenging, but I just want you to get used to tuning your ears differently for those values, reframing and summarizing and getting the agreement. Okay. All right. So that is all I'm asking you to do today. So I hope you took some notes. Let's just do a quick recap. You are thinking about, first of all, identifying hypothetical questions and curious questions, because we're going to come together and talk about those. The second thing is I want you to get familiar with our 4-step state your business case, speaking in 4 steps. I propose or advise. My reason is, here are the supporting facts, and that's why we should. And then the third thing, start practicing with those around you. Listen for their values, reframe and summarize. Is that what I'm hearing? Voila. All right, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic week. We're getting closer. Can't wait to see you. Talk to you soon.